Shalom. I want to give all praises, all honor, all glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rachakodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And peace and salutation to all the brothers out there pushing His word in truth and sincerity with charity. And peace and salutation to all the brothers and sisters that have been scattered to the four corners of the earth. They may behave and look like the other nations today. Shalom, this is the brother Debaria. And I'm going to title this lesson because of thy hatred, or something like that. All right, and I want to start off by saying that Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, is the true and holy name of the Father. All right, Yahweh and Bahashem is coming in the name of, and Yahushai is the true and holy name of His Son, the exclusive Lord and Savior of the Israelites. You so-called Negroes, so-called Latinos, so-called Hispanics, so-called Native American, Indigenous Indians of the Americas, so-called West Indians, Haitians, so-called Caribbean Indians, so-called West Africans, and all of those that have been scattered to the four corners of the earth that may behave and look like the other nations today. Okay, and what you see here on the screen is an article, and it says recognizing Denver's violent past, which, all right, Denver is a state in a city in one of the states of America. It says, my ancestors' body parts were paraded through downtown Denver and people cheered. Okay. All right. And I'll play this video in a moment, but I want to read a little bit of this here. It says, when people think of Denver, many people think of its skyline, Union Station, or perhaps the state capitol. But many fail to recognize the mile-high city sits on native land. As many people gear up for Thanksgiving holiday, for some indigenous community members, it's a complicated reminder that the country once belonged to other nations, and that's true of Denver. And here you have a picture. See if I can click on it. It won't let me click on it. But you have a picture here of what looks to be two or three Gadites. Okay, with some Edomites. All right, and showing you how so-called, black and brown or indigenous peoples of the Americas, all right, people of color, okay, are the true inhabitants of this land. And how the world was once all inhabited by people of color. All right, and until Esau, Edom came into the scene, which is the so-called Caucasian, self-proclaimed white man today, okay, you really didn't have any pale-faced people, okay? And this man, Esau, Edom, okay, the adversary, the enemy, all right, has committed heinous acts against the children of Israel, all right, known today as the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Hispanics, and Native Americans, all right? And this article right here proves that this man has not paid for all of his acts. Okay, he has not paid for all of the wickedness and the evil that he has committed, for all of the hatred that he has exercised against the children of Israel. Okay, and I'm going to start off with this Ezekiel 35. And verse 1, it says, moreover, the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it. And Mount Seir, it says, patriarch of the Horites, the inhabitants of Edom before the descendants of Esau, the Edomites. It says the land of Edom, south of the Dead Sea, a mountain range in Edom, extending from the Dead Sea to the Atlantic Gulf, apparently also called Mount Seir, and extending most of the distance of the mountain range itself. Okay, a mountain in northern Judah lying westward of Kirjath Jearim. Okay, it says Seir, a mountain of Idumea, and its aboriginal occupants, also one in Palestine, Seir. Okay, because Mount Seir or Mount Seir is a representation of Esau, Edom, of Idumea, the Edomites, the so-called Caucasian self-proclaimed white man today. So the scripture says, Son of man, set thy face against Esau, Edom, the Idumeans, and prophesy against it, and say unto it, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, Behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out mine hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. All right, because the Lord Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, all right, he hates Esau. Okay, let's get that real quick. Micah 1. Is it Micah? It could be Malachi. Yeah, Malachi 1:1, it says, the burden of the word of Yahweh to Israel by Malachi. It says, I have loved you, saith Yahweh. Yet ye say, Wherein hast thou loved us? And the answer is, Was not Esau Jacob's brother, saith Yahweh? Yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau. You see? Okay, and this is why you got so many sellouts who go around saying, "Oh, you can't talk bad about Esau. You cannot abhor Edomite or whatnot." Why? Because they have ties with Esau, and they are tied to this present evil world, and they like the way that things are now, and they don't want to lose the comfort that they have in this evil present world. They don't want to lose what they have already with Esau. They don't want to admit that the Lord hates Esau. The prophecies talk about Esau being done away with here in in Obadiah 1 and 8. It says, Shall I not in that day, saith Yahweh, even destroy the wise men out of Edom, and understanding out of the mount of Esau? And thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed, to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. You see? So the Lord, all right, going back to, let's see what that word goes into when it says every one. That every one. You see? It's I believe that word is ayash. It says man, male, husband, human being, person, servant, mankind, champion, great men, whosoever. You see, so every person, every man, all right, whoever it is of the house of Esau, okay, shall be cut off by slaughter. All right, for the violence against Jacob, against the so-called Negroes, so-called Latinos, so-called Hispanics, so-called Native Americans, indigenous Indians of the Americas, West Indians, Caribbean Indians, Haitians, West Africans, and those that have been scattered to the four corners of the earth that may behave and look like the other nations today. The Lord said to every one of the house of Esau, of the mount of Esau, of Mount Seir, all right, of the Idumeans, of the Edomites, shall be cut off by slaughter because of their violence against them. Because why? Back to the Ezekiel, okay, it says, that's the Micah. Ezekiel 35 and verse 3, it says, and say unto it, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out mine hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate, cut off. I will lay thy cities waste. All right, we just read in that Obadiah, right? It said that it says verse 8, it says, Obadiah 1 and 8 says, shall I not in that day, saith Yahweh, even destroy the wise men out of Edom and understanding out of the mount of Esau? You see? Okay. It says, let's go back to the Ezekiel. It says, Ezekiel 35 and now 4, it says, I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am Yahweh, power. It says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith Yahweh power, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut off from him that passeth out, and him that returneth. Every one, every person, every whosoever it is from the house of Esau, any Idumean, you are to be cut off forever by slaughter, okay, because of your perpetual hatred, because of the hatred, the heinous acts that you have committed towards the children of Israel. An example, okay, this right here, okay, it says, recognizing Denver's violent past, my ancestors' body parts were paraded through downtown Denver, and people cheered. You see? That's heinous, man. Those are evil, wicked acts that these Edomites have never paid for. All right, their cities, all right, and their establishments and their successes in this present evil world, their rulership, all right, is founded on the blood and the lives of the Israelites that have been shed, all right, all over, man. You see? All right. It says, as many people gear up for the Thanksgiving holiday, for some indigenous community members, it's a complicated reminder that the country once belonged to other nations, and that's true of Denver. It says it has a very romanticized feeling to it, right? Said John Cummins, who is Navajo and Crow and a student of the University of Denver. When you walk around as an indigenous student, you start to realize even streets are named after captains or soldiers who were participants of the Sand Creek Massacre. And you realize how anti-indigenous Denver is. You see? Okay? All right, now, it says, Ezekiel 35 and now verse 8, it says, I will fill his mountains with his slain men. In thy hills and in thy valleys and in all thy rivers shall they fall that are slain with the sword. I will make thee perpetual desolations, and thy cities shall not return, and ye shall know that I am Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai. You see? Now, let's go to back to the Malachi 1 And now verse 3, it says, and I hated Esau and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, they shall build. All right, this nation of people, all right, the Edomites, the Idumeans, the so-called Caucasian self-proclaimed white man today, the devil that the Bible speaks of, the adversary, the deceiver who has deceived the whole world with his wind of false of doctrines and philosophies and teachings of his pseudoscience. Okay, he has built it, and he has built it upon the blood and the lives and the souls of the Israelites, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and those that have been scattered to the four corners of the earth today. All right, it says, they shall build, but I will throw down, saith the Lord. You see, that's what Yahweh Shem Yahushai, all right, has to say about Esau, Edom, and that's what we're going into right now, because here it is in Esau's world. Okay, the destruction of our people is celebrated right in the face of our people. Okay, it is celebrated, the massacres and the atrocities and the heinous acts that they have committed against our people until this day. And yet they have not paid for all of the death, for all of the lives and all of the bloodshed that they have committed. They have never paid. On the contrary, they have what? Moved on to ruling the world, all right, to ruling the nations, to benefiting off the blood in the lives of the Israelites, of being rich and filled. You see? All right? Because this man is indeed, this nation of people is indeed the devil, the deceiver, the adversary, who will lock you up for life for committing a crime, but yet they have seemed to get away forever with the most atrocious and heinous crimes ever recorded upon the planet Earth, to a special people, to the apple of the Lord's eye. You see? And that's why, let me do this so that I don't lose the spot. That's why right here in Psalms, I believe 73, it says, Psalm 73:1, it says, truly the Most High is good to Israel, showing you again that the Lord loves Israel. Everything is about Israel. The story is about Israel being the chosen and Esau being the wicked twin brother. The deceiver, the devil is Esau. The righteous is Jacob, Israel. It says, even to such as are of a clean heart. But as for me, my feet were almost gone. My steps had well nigh slipped. For I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. You see? All right, the wicked, all right, Esau, Edom, the Idumeans, all right, they have what? They have prospered off of the blood and the lives of the Israelites. The massacre and the destruction of our people and the taking of our lands, the raping of our women, all right, the deception upon the earth. All right, it says, for there are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. Okay, all right, it says, therefore pride compasseth them about as a chain, violence covereth them as a garment. You see? All right, they are proud of the. They take pride in all these massacres. All right, their champions are nothing but murderers and rapists and violent men. But these are Esau's champions. These are his leaders, his captains. As we read here, right? It says, you start to realize even streets are named after captains or soldiers who were participants of the Sand Creek massacre. And you realize how anti-indigenous Denver is, because this is the master deceiver, Esau, Edom. All right, he will get you to think that it's a good thing when it is a bad, evil, wicked, heinous deed, man. You see? So now, back to the Psalm 73 and now verse 7, it says, because there's a point here I want to get. It says, their eyes stand out with fatness. They have more than their heart could wish. It says they are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily. Let's get the word loftily. And the word is, marawam. It says height, elevation, elevated place, in a high place, height, proudly, of nobles. So they speak highly, right, of oppression, of wickedness. They make the slaving of our people, the massacre of our people, the destruction of our people, the taking of our land, the raping of our women, the indoctrination of our children, the fall and destruction of our people. They speak loftily of it. They speak highly of it. You see? All right? It says, verse 9, they set their mouth against the heavens, and their tongue walketh through the earth. Therefore his people return hither, and waters of a full cup are wrung out to them. And they say, how doth the Most High know? And is there knowledge in the Most High? Behold, these are the ungodly. These people are the ungodly people. You see? It says, who prosper in the world, they increase in riches. Verily, I have cleansed my heart in vain and washed my hands in innocency. For all the day long have I been plagued and chastened every morning. If I say, will I speak thus? Behold, I should offend against the generation of thy children. When I thought to know this, it was too painful for me. Until I went into the sanctuary of the Most High, then understood I their end, because these people have an end, man. You see, like it says here in the Ezekiel 35 and well, let me see. In verse 5, it says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, the Lord is promising this, man. The Lord is saying, hey, man, I swear I'm going to get you for this. So when we return into the knowledge of the truth, all right, of who we are as a people and who Esau Edom is and who is the wicked and what is the true purpose and will of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, our power, then we begin to understand the end of the wicked, the reward that the wicked has in store. Okay, it says, verse 6, therefore, as I live, saith Yahweh power, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut off from him that passeth out, and him that returneth. You see, the Lord is going to cut off the wicked, all right, forever. All right, as it says here in Obadiah, 1 and 18, it says, in the house of Jacob shall be a, well, let me read 17. It says, Obadiah 1 and 15, it says, for the day of Yahweh is near upon all the heathen, especially the leaders of the heathen, the Edomites, the Idumeans. It says, as thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward, you see, the reward of the wicked, all right, shall return upon thine own head. For as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, all right, the destruction and the oppression and the slaving and the murdering and raping of our people, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yeah, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. The Lord is going to utterly destroy the Idumeans, all right, the Mount of Esau, Edom, the Edomites, all right. It says, but upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame. The so-called Negroes, Latinos, so-called Hispanics, so-called Native Americans, indigenous Indians of the Americas. Okay, the children of Israel. All right, it says, the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them. And they shall not there, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for Yahweh hath spoken it, man. You see? Okay. Psalm 73, and I'll read verse 17 again. It says, until I went into the sanctuary of the Most High, then understood I their end. Surely thou didst set them in slippery places, thou castest them down into destruction. How are they brought into desolation, as in a moment they are utterly consumed with terrors? As a dream when one awaketh, so, O Lord, when thou awakest, thou shalt despise their image. Thus my heart was grieved, and I was pricked in my reins. So foolish was I, and ignorant I was as a beast before thee. Because our people, all right, think that they can somehow change this man. They can somehow overcome him by our own ways, but it is the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai who is going to bring utter destruction, who has set them in a slippery place, man. All right, in his time, man, the reward of the wicked is coming. All right, and the nation of Israel are going to be the ones that are going to be delivered out of it, mainly the elect, man, and the 1/3, right, the 144,000 men, 12,000 each of the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, alongside with the 1/3, the believers, those that are going to call, fear, and trust upon the name of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, in these latter days that we are now in, man, and where the wicked is going to try to fight his way out of his own judgment, man. But there is nothing that is going to hinder the wrath of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. All right, there is nothing that is going to be able to stop the Lord from casting his judgment upon the wicked of the earth, man. So with that, I hope this was edifying. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rachak. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and peace and salutation to all the brothers out there pushing this word in truth and sincerity with charity. Shalom and abad babal.